Welcome to MotoGP Mac. In today's video, we're going to talk about the sprint race that just happened for the Hungarian Grand Prix at Balaton Park. Now, before we get into it, here's how it finished. Marc Marquez won it from Fabio Di Giannantonio, Franco Morbidelli, Luca Marini, Fermin Aldeguer, Joan Mir, Marco Bezzecchi, Alex Marquez, Jorge Martin, Pol Espargaro, Raul Fernandez, Jack Miller, Pecco Bagnaia, Miguel Oliveira, Aya Agura, Alex Rins, Pedro Acosta and Brad Binder was the last one across the line. Johan Zarco crashed out, Enea Bastianini crashed out and Fabio Quartararo crashed out. Now, what you say about this race, it was a little bit of a snooze fest for me, barring the first lap and the last lap where there was a bit of excitement. The rest of it was pretty static, if I'm honest, and Marc rode an absolutely brilliant race. Have the feeling though that it was more of a cruise than a race for Marc. Definitely seemed to only need to ride at 80%. Looking at his pace, he definitely had half a second, three-quarter of a second still in him. Fabio Di Giannantonio had a good battle with Franco Morbidelli at the start of the race, got into second and, enjoyed it from there. Morbidelli, who made a good start initially, how would you say, lost the place to his teammate, but still remained very comfortable in a third place. Luca Marini rode a great race, up 5 places. Definitely the Honda is working in this circuit for sure. Fermin Aldeguer as well, up 3 places. And seemed to be very, very comfortable. Joan Mir is the same. He's up 4 places overall. I think he lost a place to Aldeguer, but saying that, it's good to see the Hondas up there. Marco Bezzecchi actually lost 5 places from where he started. Mainly this was because of Quartararo's move in turn 1 did push him a bit wide and he did lose places, but it just showed kind of some of the weakness of the Aprilia here. He couldn't really overtake. Now, not many people could overtake, but definitely doesn't have the horsepower or the grunt in the acceleration zones to try and get there. Alex Marquez, solid race I would call it, nothing special to write home about. Good race for Jorge Martin, not too far behind his teammate. Okay, if it wasn't for the Quartararo incident, but saying that, solid 9th place, good for him. Pol Espargaro, one of the outstanding rides. I didn't have Pol down as a top 10 rider. Yes, he did get into Q2 directly, but still it didn't have him race pace down there. In 10th place. Raul Fernandez, a really solid ride, up 5 places as well for Raul. Didn't see too much of him. Jack Miller up 2 places as well, more so because people crashed in front of him rather than passing. I would definitely put it down. Pecco Bagnaia, an absolutely dreadful race from him. You can just see that this track is not suiting him at all. No confidence. Turning in, you see the front of the bike is very nervous, waving. It's definitely going to be a tough race for Pecco. Realistically, he was battling for last place. The riders, majority of the riders, with the exception of Miguel Oliveira and Aya Agura, they didn't have any incidents behind them. The rest did. So effectively, Pecco was battling for last place. Miguel Oliveira and Aya Agura, look, I did expect a little bit more out of Miguel to use his experience to get up there, and it kind of shows where he is. Aya Agura is not adapting to the circuit at all. It is a pretty poor performance from him. Let's just be fair and where it is. 13, 14, 15. They should have done better, to be fair. Alex Rins was impacted when Zarco and Bastianini crashed, so he had to go across the gravel, but he was still towards the end of the field anyway. Pedro Acosta crashed and remounted, similar for Brad Binder. Zarco was taken out by Enea Bastianini, who made an absolutely electric start, to be fair, Bastianini, but was then pushed wide in the first corner when Quartararo was a little bit over ambitious, let's just call it. Well, it wasn't. He missed his braking marker and was very lucky not to take anyone else out. Did significantly damage the rear end of Bastianini's bike. And then later around that lap, Bastianini completely missed his braking point and took Johan Zarco out, which caused Alex Rins to have to go across the gravel. Overall, look, it wasn't the most exciting sprint race. They split out very quickly, and there was no really major overtakes, one here and there, but maybe the little bit of excitement towards the end with Bezzecchi and Joan Mir, but that was it. Hopefully tomorrow's race won't be like this. Looking at Mark's approach today, he was just cruising. He has loads in hand, so it definitely looks like a Marquez victory tomorrow, unless Mark beats Mark. But I would definitely love to know your thoughts. What did you think of the first race in Balaton Park, Hungary? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.